Hi guys, it's Nancy here and I'm back with another one of my process videos for my Hey Little Magpie blog post. This month I had chosen a variety of speciality papers and I was using them to help me tackle my stash of 6x6 pads. This one I did do something slightly different because I pulled in a couple of 12x12 bits of paper, but this is all from Halloween layouts. I always buy way too much Halloween stash because I love skulls and anything with skulls on them. So I do tend to go a little bit crazy when it gets to Halloween. And I think I actually bought two of the My Mind's Eye ones because there was like a tartan in there as well, and I told myself that I could use it for my Scottish album, so anything to tell myself. And I absolutely love those skulls with specks on. And the tones went really well with this photo. This is when I love my hair like this. I've had my hair all chopped off now, but I liked it when it was long and had this ombre to it. Kind of goes really well with this photo. And the fact I'm wearing a tartan dress too. Anyway, so I'm using this Dear Lizzie banner paper for the background. And again, that is on a craft. So these gold on crafts and gold on neutrals are perfect for just picking anything out of your stash and using. Again, I'm using a little bit of that high gloss gold embossed paper from Jen Hadfield, just to add a little strip to the bottom. I mentioned recently that I'd really enjoyed the couple of layouts I'd done where they had this little strip on, so it is something I'm going to be doing a little bit more. So I'm just doing some really sort of basic just embellishing, using the little bits and pieces that are half used up in these paper pads. As I said, I'm using the Crepe Paper After Dark and the My Mind's Eye Halloween collection. And as I said, I just love them. I just love them both. And what I wanted to do is just kind of build a cluster and then make sure I had space for journaling. So I was just looking for something I could possibly do some journaling on, and I found these bits which were from an older Amy Tangerine collection. I'd cut them up from, I presume it must have been a 12x12 piece of paper. And whilst doing that, I also found these frames which are super old. They are from, I think they're Alison Craft, for Webster's Pages, and I've had them in my stash for yonks, and I love them. They are a little bit chunky. Not that there's anything wrong with being a little bit chunky. But yeah, I hadn't used them on layouts, so I decided that this would be the layout that I would get another one used up on. So I'm just going through some of the die cuts and bits that were in the Pebbles Spring Fling pack, just seeing if I could add any of those, and I do pick one of those craft and white doilies out. So I want to use that frame, and I know that I need to put something in it because I don't like it, but you can kind of see the layers through. In doing that, I also found this of baker's twine. Sorry about the break there, my computer died on me. I thought it was plugged in, but it wasn't. Yes, I found that bit of baker's twine, which someone sent me around a rack, and I can't remember. But yeah, I keep like all the packaging and bits from people send me stuff, just because people just package things up so beautifully. So I'm going to end up using it on here, and that's a bit of black and white twine, so it's going to go perfect with some of the layers. So I've just taken that frame and drawed around that skull paper, and just managed to frame nicely a little skull with specks. And I said it's just going to work perfectly. And then I had that camera which I'd stamped out in my stash, and I stamped that out using a Stampin' Up ink actually. But yeah, I evidently went to use it on a layout but never did. So that ended up getting just left in my stash, so I'm glad to get that used up. I'm going to put another bit of that gold in here, which is that banner piece, just to bring, you know, some nice spangly gold over, because I love the spangly gold. As I said, I really like that frame and camera cluster. Works perfectly. So now I'm going to start sticking bits down. I wanted to make sure I had enough of those skulls showing, but not too much of the gold, so that was a little bit of a juggling thing. But it doesn't matter, I sort of cut the little bits off the bottom, because you can still tell they're skulls, so that's all fine. I did think I needed to do something there, because that gold was just a little bit too stark. So I'm just going to cut down another little bit, and I'm actually going to end up putting my title down to the bottom here as well, because I wanted to make sure I had enough room to do my clustering. So now it's a case of just sticking everything together. I try not ever to get so far where I've got most of the layout down with no sticking down, because it's always a nightmare to try and get things lined up how you wanted them. So I'm getting better at just sticking and going, but this one, not so much. So just popping in all these little layers and putting them on slight angles just to add a little bit of interest. I just like how it looks. Again, these work perfectly for a place to do some journaling, and they're going to cover up the majority of that gold. I don't want too much of that showing because it's so super shiny. So I'm just playing around tucking those down. And journaling for this layout is just going to be about kind of like a work update. I like to have them in my album, just like how I'm feeling about work, what's been happening, just, yeah, how I'm coping with it, because sometimes I need to offload because work can be really stressful, and stuff can be happening which is, yeah, not best. So I do like to offload and just talk about different things. So, and this one is going to kind of go, I think this picture was taken in January, so yeah, it was. So I'm just going to be talking about like the hopes for this year and the changes and stuff at work and those kind of things. So I just like to have somewhere to reflect on that. And again, this album will just go in with my project life, which still has no divider pages. I've not done any scrapping in it, it's so bad. But I am going away on a crafty retreat, so I'm hoping that I'm going to get time to catch up on that. If not, I'll be thoroughly disappointed in myself. So I'm just using my wet glue to stick down that twine as well, and I did put a little staple in. And as I said, I really, excuse me, love how it's come together, and it's just simple layering, but that frame doesn't need too much. So I then had all my Halloween stashed together, so Something Wicked, yes, that was what the My Mind's Eye collection was called. So I bought the collection pack and the alphas separate, because they are a black glitter. They are only cardstock stickers, but I do really like them. So I picked out working that, and then I had these small Jelly Bean Super alphas as well. I love these little Jelly Bean Super alphas, they're so fab. And especially if you don't want a massive title that's like in your face, they work really, really well as well. So I also picked out these photo corners again, which I've had in my stash for a while, and so I'm going to add those on there, and that's just going to help just add to the look. And again, they're black and white, so that works well. This was very much a bitty layout, just going through and finding different stuff and adding that on, and I quite like doing layouts that way. And as I said, it gets you things out, like those frames that have been in my stash for like ever, and that camera that I stamped out, and just things like that. I just think it helps add to it. So I'm just putting the date there, and said I really love how that looks. I'm just going to add those photo corners onto two bits of the photo. I don't need them on all corners, and I said I just love the little interest that adds as well. I did think about putting some wood veneers bits on there, but I decided not to because I had that lovely craft, so that worked really well. I wanted to just add something in that space. Again, was just going through different bits and pieces I had on my desk, and there was this sort of chipboard circle with a heart on, so I decided to look at adding that maybe on there, because it added, but I decided to just add it down there to the side. And it's just going to talk about work and how I'm feeling about it. And I had the little hearts on that bit of twine, so that kind of worked quite well. So I'm just looking at adding a little bit of banner piece there, just to fill in that little funny gap. And then just put a little potty person on, just to finish everything up. So that is this layout. I really love how this came out. I hope you liked it too. I will be back with another video. Technology, if it'll bear with me. So thank you very much, guys. Bye.